Hey, how you doing tonight? MFG 130 Welding Technology 1. I'm just going to give you a little introduction here on how to set up the electrode holder and put your equipment together here. I've got the essentials that I need. I've got my welding helmet here. I've got safety glasses, must wear safety glasses under the welding helmet. I've got my gloves here, okay, look familiar. I've got a chipping hammer, and this is for removing the slag. I've got a brush. We need a brush to clean the metal that we're going to weld and also to remove any debris from after we're done chipping it out. And I've got some electrodes here, okay? So I've just got a few. I'm just going to show you how to get this set up, and that's it. Let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is we've got our work clamp, and this is what the work clamp looks like. This particular brand looks like this. Doesn't matter what it looks like, but this is a general work clamp. Now if I just put this on here, you can see that this piece of metal is very rusty and it's not going to make a good connection. Remember, this is an electrical connection that you're making, so be sure that you're getting everything connected together well. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to brush this, and I'm going to get enough surface rust off so that I can make a good connection. So that's going to come on here, and that's very important. Sometimes it helps to wiggle this in a little bit. Okay, the next thing I need is my electrode holder, and I talked about this in the previous video. This is a typical electrode holder, okay, and it's got a spring jaw mechanism that when you squeeze this down, it opens up. And when I take an electrode in my hand, you can see that one end of the electrode here is bare. This is the bare end, and the other end is still got the flux covering on it. So we want the bare end. We want to open up the holder, and in the jaws here, inside here, you'll be able to see there's a number of grooves, and I like the straight groove, so I'm just going to put it right in there, and this is the configuration that the electrode holder ends up taking. Okay, that's it. So the way that we strike an arc, and I don't have the welder turned on for this, I just want to show you how to get started. The way to do this is one of two methods. Either you can strike it like a match, drag, start it, or you can poke at it. Either method works, depends on what you're doing. Sometimes one method works better than another, but I'm going to demonstrate both of those. Remember now, I'm not going to strike an arc here doing this, but I'm going to be at the appropriate angle. We're going to talk about specific angle numbers, and your textbook discusses that, and we'll be reading that section. In any case, this is a drag process, so I'm moving from this side to this side. Okay, I'm going to be moving in this direction. If I were left-handed or I was welding in the opposite direction, I would turn it this way and I would be dragging in this direction. Okay, you're not pushing, you're not going this way. You're always going this way or you're going this way. This angle is called the drag angle as opposed to straight up and down. This is the drag angle, okay? This is your work angle, which is side to side. Again, we'll talk more about that. So to start this, I'm going to just sort of like I'm scratching a match, like I'm going to light a match. And if I had the welder turned on, this would start the arc. You don't want to do one of these and pull it way back, because the arc is going to extinguish. The arc can only jump a gap of a certain distance. So depending on the amperage you have set, some higher amperages will jump a greater distance, but you need to be fairly close when you start this, okay? The other method is to just poke at it, to just go like this, kind of just like jab it a little bit, and that can work too. One of the difficulties of starting a new electrode is that the end of the electrode has some bare metal on it. When you've used an electrode for a little while, the flux burns back, but the metal burns farther up into the area of the flux, so the flux kind of shields the bare metal electrode end from touching the material, so you may not be able to strike an arc right away. In this case, it's very easy to start but one of the hazards is that it can stick to the material. And if it sticks, you need to just give it a quick twist and it should break it away. In extreme cases where it's really stuck, you would do something like this. And we'll pretend this is stuck on here. You just release the electrode from the holder and that will take it away. So that's how you would start an arc. Now, if the material is rusty or it has a black oxide coating on it, it's not going to start easily, and you need to either grind that off or sometimes brushing is enough. So I'm going to try this and see if I can actually get this arc to start just the way that we have it here. Okay, so we'll be back in a second. I'll turn the machine on and we'll give it a try. Okay, so now what we're going to do is hope that we have a good solid connection here, hope that we have some bare metal here that will allow us to make a good contact. Remember, this is an electrical process. I'm going to start on this side. I got my helmet on, I got my safety glasses on, and we're ready to give this a try. All right, here we go. Let's see if we're going to try just a scratch start. We're just going to try scratching to see if we can get the arc started. Good, that worked out really well. That started with no problem. Now, you can't see it here, but we've got that little bit of a cup on the end of the electrode that is shielding that metal. And sometimes that's easy to start, sometimes it's not so easy to start. We're going to chip this out. My flux comes right off. It's not a real good weld, I'm just trying to make a bead just to get you to understand how to get this started. Let's see if we can start that one more time. Now I'm pecking at it, by the way. All right, so the peck worked a lot better for getting it started the second time around. And when you get into the lab and you start doing this, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll see how effective that can be. All right, so we got a couple of new beads on our rusty test piece. We'll see how it looks, but right now we don't really care what it looks like. I just wanted to get you guys started with putting the electrode into the holder, getting the beads started.